Hello. Hello. Good to see y'all. What's up? What's up? Happy weekend time. Hello. I haven't been back. I feel like I haven't been back in forever. I've been so busy. Your girl has been busy. Hello. Can you guys see me and hear me? Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Let me say hi to everyone. I saw something. Boy. Hello, Tipsy. I saw Weddle. Number 7. Hello, Laura. Irony. Smog Dog. Hello. It's good to see y'all. I've missed y'all. We have this live planned. We're going to be talking about Keimani LATIGUE, and then we have a Brian Koberger, and then we have a Melly After Dark. So get ready to get your fix for the weekend. Hello, Laura. Hello, Established. Hey, I was hoping and praying you do a show on this one. This one is heartbreaking. Okay, so why I'm so late. I had this live planned, and then I had to deep dive. I know. You know how I am here. We always deep dive here, and I needed to get all the facts. And the deeper I dove, the more I found. So we're going to be talking about, hello, welcome. My name is Melly. I always forget to introduce myself for all the new viewers. My glasses are like fogged up. My bad. But welcome. Hello. We cover true crime here. And today we're going to be covering Keimani LATIGUE, a 13-year-old from Ohio. Toledo, Ohio. Is it Toledo or Toledo? I don't know. Let me know. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for being here. All new viewers, subscribers. Hello. Yes, I am deep diving this. We have a lot to go through. Clips, facts, records. So get ready for it. Get ready. Keimani LATIGUE. Let's get started. Oh, PowerPoint failed me too, by the way. So I had to fix it. That. I'll have to figure it out after. Hello, Jules. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you for being here. Let's get started. Keimani LATIGUE. I'm sorry if it's not in the right format. Oh boy. So this is Keimani LATIGUE on the screen. Hello. I want the grandma under the jail. It looks like Established has been following this case. Yes. I have so much to say. And before I get started, trigger warning, we are going to be watching some body cam. This case does involve, excuse me, domestic violence, grape, family dysfunction stuff, dysfunctional family pretty much. So, and before I get started, I'm not here to blame anyone, but we are going to cover what is facts, and these are just my opinions. You can go and do your own research. All of this information can be found online. Records can be found through the sheriff's department. So all of it is available. I'm just here to report on what I have deep dived. So let's get started. This is Keimani LATIGUE on the screen. 13-year-old, beautiful little angel. Hello. Oh, yes, I have, and I'm pissed off. Hello. Hey, Patty. Good to see you. Yes, I am too. I'm very pissed off. Let me see if I can zoom in. Is that better? I don't know if that's better, but yes. And baby girl's birthday was yesterday. Keimani LATIGUE's birthday was yesterday, so she's actually 14. But at the time of her death, she was 13. Very sad. This case, Laura, it's a very sad case. But this is Keimani LATIGUE, 13 years old. If you have not heard of the case, I'm glad, because you're going to be hearing about it today. We're going to watch a lot of stuff on this, a lot of clips. So she's a 13-year-old girl, 120 pounds, 5'6", black hair, brown eyes, from Ohio. She loved to play video games, loved to play basketball with her friends. She really loved basketball. She's really cute. And this is a horrific crime. No, I have not heard about that, Mayla's mom. Yeah, she was 13. And if you saw the thumbnail, I titled it Sins of a Father, because unfortunately, it involves, family. So she was in 7th grade. She went to Spring Elementary, and she was days away from her 14th birthday, like I just said, but it was yesterday. So March 28th was her 14th birthday. At the time of her death, she was 13th. Hello, Against All Logic. Good to see you. Her mother was Tiara Caston, and her father was Darnell Jones. At the beginning of the case, there was a lot of there's a lot of controversy because there's a lot of moving parts here, right? Every family member has something involved with the case. So she was living with her grandmother. She was living with her grandfather. Well, before I get started on that, she was going to receive the Kindness Award at her school. I thought that was really important before I get into the dark family stuff, the familial issues, if you may. She was going to receive the Kindness Award at school. And that just was super important for me to bring up about Keimani, that she was just a sweet, kind person. And she was, so young, still a child. Like I said, her mother is Tiara Caston and her father is Darnell Jones. At the beginning, when this all first came out, the grandmother was saying that Darnell, the father, was not the father. He was not the biological father, but we're going to watch an interview where the biological mother says that he is. So the mother, she plays a big role in this because she was raised by her godmother. So her mother lost custody. Allegedly, Tiara, Keimani's mother, says that she lost custody of Keimani because of her mom. Her mom, which is Dorothy. Dorothy is the grandmother. So I know there's a lot of moving parts here. Dorothy LATIGUE is a grandmother. Oh, I'm sorry, my live kept moving. There's a lot to this case. And when I dove deeper this morning, I found even more stuff. So the grandmother, so she was living with the godmother, which I have questions still about. And then about 5 years ago, Dorothy, her grandmother, got full custody of her, got full custody of Keimani. So she never had a quote unquote normal childhood. This was a lot of dysfunction, right? Her mom, allegedly, Tiara lost custody of Keimani because of her grandmother lying to authorities, which we'll dig deeper in a little bit. And so there's a lot of moving parts here. I feel, in my opinion, that Keimani was failed by everyone around her. And we've seen similar cases that we're covering, right? Like the Maddie Soto case and Emily Pike. Emily Pike is a very relatable case to this because there's parts in the crime where they're the same. So, yeah, I'm trying to read. There's still so many questions, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. The godmother who raised her, the foster, was also her mom's foster. Yes, exactly. Mayla's mom. Exactly. Some of you are very familiar with this case, which I'm excited about. Totally failed everyone. Totally failed by everyone, teacher. Yes, we talk about all of this. I'm glad some of you are familiar with this case. And for those of you who aren't, I'm glad that you're just learning about him here. Just sneeze. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to sneeze in your guys' ears. Okay, so there's allegations of abuse, custody battles, and a lot of family secrets. Hello, not my job. Good to see you. No. I like that you guys know about this case. No, I do establish you. This is why we're here to talk about it. So I enjoy the conversation because then you've been keeping up on it, and if you're not, that's okay. You will be now. Yeah. So please let me know what you think. I've been following this since it happened, but Facebook people do not know true crime and say wild things. Right, they do. So there's a lot of allegations, like I said, of abuse, custody battles, etc. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Oh, I'm sorry. My PowerPoint failed me, so I had to use Google Slides. So what exactly happened to Keimani? Keimani was reported missing from 200 Elm Street in Toledo, Ohio, just before noon on March 18th. So Tiara, her mother, last saw her because her father, Darnell, dropped her off at Tiara's house to visit for a few hours. So Tiara did not have full custody. You will hear about that in the interview that we cover. She didn't have full custody of Keimani. She was living with her grandma. And, you know, there's a lot of allegations about the home life that Keimani was living with her grandma. There's allegations of abuse, domestic violence. Well, not domestic violence, but violence towards Keimani. It is alleged that the grandma was having an affair with Keimani's dad. There's a lot of things, right, that we're going to dig into. But March 19th, the grandma finally talks. So Keimani goes missing on March 18th. The grandma talks on March 19th. On March 21st, there's a search party. March 23rd, Darnell, the alleged father, is charged with abduction. He was charged with abduction first, but he does have quite a record, which we are going to cover here. And then her body, so she went missing, and she, from the 18th to there was a few days, right, that she was missing, and her body ended up being found on March 24th on the second floor of an abandoned burn house on Miami Street near Wilmot, and her body was found at 12:19 p.m. So when her body was found, she was bruised. She had been beaten. She had been raped, sexually assaulted. Her throat was cut and her hands were cut off. So very brutal crime. And we recently saw this in the Emily Pike case, right? Her hands were also cut off. And then we see the how abuse affected Maddie Soto in that case, right? The mother was aware. I think in this case, some people were aware. It's brutal, you know, and the cutting the hands off thing, just, I'm shook about that. Like, we saw it in the Emily Pike case, and it's just so, it's so horrific, you know. I believe that maybe the hands were cut off because they had evidence and they tried to defend themselves. I do believe Emily Pike fought back. I do believe that Keimani also fought back. But that's a very dark thing, right? To cut their hands off. And it's so sick and horrific. And my heart breaks for Keimani to know that she had been living with abuse, just like Maddie Soto, for who knows how long. I do believe she was groomed at the time of her death. That's my opinion. But I do believe she was groomed by Darnell. So with those facts that you know right now, as we're just getting started, I'm going to play a little clip. We're going to go in between clips here, and you can see what was on the news at that time, right? A couple clips, body cam footage, and an interview that we're going to play today. So please make sure you hit the like button. So maybe the essay wasn't typical essay if he was afraid she had DNA under her belt. I don't know, Male Islam. I think that the essay had been going on. I think there's a lot that might come out with this case. Under her fingernails. So maybe the essay wasn't, she had DNA under her fingernails. Yeah, cutting someone's hands off. We see dismemberment all the time in true crime, right? But again, it's very brutal. It's very brutal. So let's play. I'm going to play a clip on some stuff.
Welcome to WTOL 11 Plus. We have breaking news we want to alert you to right now. The family of a missing teenage girl tell WTOL 11 police have found her body. TPD confirming to us this afternoon a body has been found, but they aren't sharing the identity at this time. Our Silver Barker joins us live from where police are searching. Silver, what can you tell us?
Right now we're here on the scenes where a body has been found in the house behind me on Miami Street. Toledo police tell us it is in relation to 13-year-old Kamani LATIGUE, who's been missing since March 18th. Now, police have not yet confirmed with us whether the body is the little girl, but family members we talked to earlier have told us it is. Lots of Kamani's family and people have shown up from the community. We heard from Kamani's mother, Tiara Caston, who says she hasn't been told anything. Now, right now, there is an arrest warrant out for Kamani's father, Darnell Jones. He is wanted for a third-degree felony of abduction in relation to Kamani. At this time, police have not given us any updates besides what was previously reported.
I just want to know if it's my baby. They still not telling me nothing. It takes nothing. It's nothing to take a picture. It's nothing to, you know what I'm saying, let me know when the coroner's bringing her out so I can see if that's indeed my baby. Y'all not saying nothing. And y'all can tell if it's a grown woman or if it's
her mom.
A kid. My daughter tall, but she still has the body of a child. You know the difference.
So what are they telling you?
They're not telling me nothing. They ain't told me nothing. Not a word. Then they talking about it might be days before I be able to identify my child. Like, no.
Now, this is an ongoing investigation. We'll continue to be here live at the scenes, and we'll continue to try and give you guys updates as we can. Reporting live in Toledo, Silver Barker, WTOL 11.
All right, Silver, thank you so much. And again, if you are just joining us, family members of 13-year-old Kamani LATIGUE tell us her body has been found, but we are still waiting to hear more from Toledo police to confirm the identity of a body that was found. Court records show there's an arrest warrant out for Kamani's dad, 33-year-old Darnell Jones. Toledo police tell us that warrant is related to Kamani's disappearance. Police say Jones, who also uses the last name Ogletree, is Kamani's biological father. According to court documents, he's wanted for abduction. The report also mentions he was the last person with Kamani before she went missing last week. It also lists that Jones gave officers inconsistent statements about his activity with Kamani and their whereabouts. We'll continue to bring you the latest.
I mean, imagine it was her own father, right? The same person that gave her life took it. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. Yeah, allegedly he is a biological dad. Yeah. Yeah, you guys know. Let me play another clip.
My daughter, there's no reason my daughter would ever be over here. Today make a week she's been gone. And this is not right. We just want to get her home.
Praying for the best, but of course, always prepare for the worst.
That was a family of 13-year-old Kamani LATIGUE. She's been missing for several days now. Earlier today, Toledo police discovered a body inside of a home on Miami Street in East Toledo. Police have yet to confirm it was her body, but according to the girl's grandmother, Kamani LATIGUE's body was found. Jeff?
As we continue to track this story throughout the day, WTOL 11 has also learned that the father of Kamani has been charged. His name is Darnell Jones. An arrest warrant has been issued for his arrest. Tonight, we have got live team coverage on this breaking news story. Silver Barker and Michael Sandlin have been looking into this story all day long. Silver joins us live from the home on Miami Street where that body was found. And Michael is looking into the case surrounding Kamani's dad. But we'll get to Silver first. Silver?
Yeah, well, Jeff, right here on Miami Street, there were a lot of people here earlier today trying to figure out what is happening as they were hearing the news that we were hearing of a body being found in this home. By the way, we know it's burned, but however, police tell us that it was burned before the body was found there, or was before this incident. We were here as well, of course, here on the scene earlier today, waiting for information. We're still waiting for some information now. Now, while we have not been able to confirm with police whether this was Kamani's body, it it was taken out of the house and sent to the coroners. Kimani's mother, Tiara Caston, who was here on the scene also, was either shown something by police or had a conversation which we believe was to confirm whether the body was her daughter's. Moments after the conversation or whatever was shown from police, we then see Caston drop to her knees crying. But as mentioned earlier, we have not been able to confirm whether this was Kimani they found. We spoke to a cousin of Kimani's prior to police finding the body, and she tells us this.
I don't want to go to assumptions, but at this point, I feel like we're looking for a body and not a teenage little girl anymore.
Now, we do know that this is still an ongoing investigation.
They did
so
find the
there are more
body,
parts
as we
we're
know.
waiting to figure out and find out, which of course we will keep you guys updated as we learn more. Reporting live in East Toledo, Silver Barker, WTOL 11.
Our team coverage continues. The one person wanted for Kimani's abduction is her father, Darnell Jones. And according to police records, he was last seen taking Kimani from her guardian's home without consent, possibly making him the last person to have seen her alive. Michael Sandlin, he's got more on the charges surrounding Jones, his background as well. Michael, how is Kimani's family reacting to the news of Jones's possible involvement?
Jeff, we caught up with Kimani's grandmother, Dorothy LATIGUE, and she says the feeling right now is betrayal. Now, we did some digging into Jones's past, and he does have quite the record. Now, looking back, we can see that he had previous charges for domestic violence, specifically an endangering children charge back in 2021. However, those charges were dismissed. He also had a felonious assault charge from 2017 that resulted in the victim being seriously harmed, and he was indicted on that one. Kimani's grandmother says this feels like a betrayal because despite his record, she truly thought Jones had stepped up to be a father for her, despite not even being her biological dad.
It was told to me that he was
This
her
is Grandma,
biological father.
Grandma Dorothy.
However, her biological mother has told me on several occasions that he is not. So I don't know what to believe, but I know that he was present. He's been more present than the biological mom. And I feel deceived. Like, you played for so long in my face, like you was her dad, like you really had her best interests at heart. But where is she?
So I wanted to cover that clip of the grandma because the grandma plays a big role in this, right? She had custody of Kimani, and someone said in the chat she does have a long rap sheet. Yeah, all of the people around her do. So with that being said, I'm going to go back to my slide because I pulled up the records of the people involved in this case. And so this first slide on here is Kimani's mother, Tiara. She also has a record, and this one is thanks to the Family TV. Tiara Caston, she was the defendant was with 3 to 4 males who jumped a victim, beating him about the head. As this was happening, the defendant was stealing the victim's credit cards out of his pocket. This was seen by a neutral third-party witness who was working in the area. This is her mother in 2012. So we're going to dig deep into the records. Yeah, and the grandma also has a record, and we're going to get into Darnell's record as well. Let me get back to the comments. I know some of you are saying a lot of things. I'm glad you're familiar with the case. Apparently it was a closing stuff. To me, it seems she was staging. Right, I believe. What a life to be hurt by a father, yet still be a kind young lady. In the essay, right? We see that with Maddie Soto case, how long they've lived with that trauma and the abuse going on. I do think, do you guys think the grandma has something to do with it? Let me know at the end of the live when we go through all the information. So I wanted to show, this is an abandoned house where Kimani was found. I did want to show that. It was a burned abandoned house on the 2nd floor. She was found with her throat slit, abused, bruised, beat, and her hands were cut off. Imagine that your own father does that. Again, the same person that gave you life. There's a lot. We're going to watch a clip about this. I do think mental health plays a role. I don't think that is an excuse per usual, but I can empathize with that. It sounds like they all failed. Yes, everyone failed that sweet girl. the system, her family. I mean, she was living with her godmother and then her grandma. I mean, and you're going to hear the mom's interview from just recently, as of yesterday. I was able to dig it up. And there's a lot of questions I have that should be concerning. So this top left picture is the house that is decorated now for Keimani. And then down at the bottom right is someone tagged the house saying, CSB, where's your accountability? Which I believe that's like the child system there in Ohio. And it says her life mattered and you let them silence her. So that's why we are talking about Keimani. We want justice for Keimani, and we want justice all the way around, right? Whether the grandma had something to do with it, whoever was aware of everything she was living with. Hey, prison guard, shout out to you. What's up? Good to see you. So it's brutal. So what was the cause of death? On March 25th, the coroner, the Lucas County Coroner's Office, performed an autopsy on the body of the 13-year-old Keimani LATIGUE and found that the cause was incised wounds of the neck. The manner of death is ruled a homicide. She was pronounced dead at 110 block of Miami Street in Toledo, Ohio on March 24th, 12:19 p.m. I did mention that at the beginning, but I wanted to make sure I pointed it out here. So who's Darnell Jones? Darnell Jones is her father. Imagine, I can't just get over it. I have a very close relationship with my father. So in my opinion, which I am not a professional, I don't know all the facts. I don't know the people personally, but I do feel that there was a lot of abuse going on between Darnell and Keimani before this crime. I do. This is Darnell Jones, born June 17, 1991, 33, from Toledo. He also goes by Darnell Ogletree. It was unknown if he was the bio father at the beginning, like I said, because the grandmother said that he wasn't, but the bio mom, Tiara, says that he is the bio father. He has a lot of previous charges, and we're going to go through them, but one of them, like you heard in the clip, was endangering, let me make sure, endangering children, domestic violence, felonious assault, and it goes back as far as 2017, but I got the whole entire record, so we're going to go through that in a second. He was wanted for a serious crime when he was apprehended, and the authorities did file an abduction charge against Jones and issued a warrant for him on March 23rd. He was the last person who was with Keimani. He allegedly went over to Dorothy's house where Keimani was living because allegedly Keimani called him to tell him that she was scared because someone was breaking into the house. Do we believe that? I'm sure there's the law enforcement probably has a proof of it, or whether it's true or not, but I don't believe that Keimani called him that night to go over there. I wouldn't even be surprised if he was already over there. It is alleged that Darnell went over there to the house with his quote unquote cousin to check on her and make sure that no one was breaking into the house at like midnight. So I don't know if I believe that really. I'm going to play the clip because Darnell's girlfriend actually came out and provided evidence that Darnell had something to do with it. So I'm going to play, it's a 3-minute clip.
Into Keimani's murder, Toledo police executed several search warrants, including where he
right,
lived on the east side.
We don't believe that. We don't believe that
Darnell
shite.
Jones' girlfriend who helped police with evidence in the case. That woman, who asked us not to identify her, tells us Jones called her Friday and asked her to turn off the cameras at the home. She says she got suspicious and did not turn them off, and she adds she was in the bedroom when a relative saw Jones move some items from his SUV into the house and hide them under the basement stairs. She called police, who got a search warrant and then took the evidence.
What did he hide under your stairs?
It was like a mat for the back of the truck, not a pickup, but SUV. You know, when you lay your seats down and you put that rubber mat in there to protect the back of your seats in case you're hauling something. That's what he rolled up and put in my basement. And his work boots, which were cake with mud, and he hadn't worked in a while.
She says
This is Darnell on
once
the
Jones
screen.
noticed the items gone, she never saw him again. She also told us Jones called her from Columbus, and she told police where they could find him. As the Toledo community continues to grieve the loss of Kimani Latigue, some are stepping up to help contribute to a funeral service for the young girl. Wheeling on the Rocks on Lasky will be hosting a benefit and poker run this upcoming Sunday. That's to help raise funds to properly honor Kimani and celebrate her life. They said all of the money raised will go directly to the funeral home. The main event will be at Wheelin with other businesses participating in the poker run, including Kickstand Saloon just over the border, Daffy's, and Corner Saloon just over the border.
I want something for her. I think the whole town wants something for her to have, you know, an abundance of flowers, a beautiful casket, maybe a park bench or anything to help, you know, with the memorial.
Kickstand is on Alexis in Toledo. Those hosting Sunday's event tell us that a donation to the funeral home is essentially your ticket to take part in the activities. So if you'd like to donate or if you'd like to find out more, you can go to our website, 13abc.com.
Emotions are running high, and people from all over are coming to Toledo to mourn the loss of Kimani and offer support. But how does the community begin to heal from this horrific incident? Social worker Cecil Holston says grief can be there, whether or not you know someone personally affected by a violent crime. He says people may feel a connection to the case because they may have a daughter or son the same age as Kimani. Holston says one way to deal with grief is to stay off social media.
Journal.
So yes, I want to mention that it is a rabbit hole of information. You're right, Mail is mom. I don't understand how these people give interviews to the news knowing they know exactly where the child is. Exactly. So the girlfriend did end up, Darnell's girlfriend did end up giving up some information about Darnell. And I did forget to play a clip from the mom that I think is critical. It's a big, yes, there's a lot going on in this case. The grandmother, we're going to hear when we interview, or when we hear the interview with Tiara, that there was Dorothy the grandma lost custody of Tiara and her other kids as well. So it seems like a cycle of living in the foster care system with this family. And I'm wondering why Dorothy lost custody of her kids, just kind of like Tiara lost custody of Kimani. There's a lot.
In North Toledo.
Kimani Latigue, she was last seen in the early morning hours of Tuesday.
Chase Bachman was in North Toledo following the search party. He has the latest.
People in North Toledo spent the afternoon and evening looking for Kimani Latigue. She's 13 years old and has been missing since early Tuesday. WTOL 11 spoke with Kimani's mom, Tiara Caston, who lives in Cleveland. She says she just got to Toledo Friday to help with the search. The last few days for her have been a nightmare.
I have never had a seizure before in my life, sir, and I've had 3 within the past couple days. This shit is tearing me up. If my baby don't make it home, I will never be okay again. And I hate to say that because I have other kids.
Family and friends say Kimani isn't the type of girl to get into trouble. They aren't sure why she would go missing or if she was taken, why somebody would want to hurt her.
And we need all the support we can get from anybody. We don't care who it is. Please just come out and help us find my niece.
Tiara says the last few days have taken an emotional toll on her, and all she wants is to see her daughter home safe.
It would be the world to me. Like this, I hate to, I don't like cursing, but honestly, this is breaking me. I've been falling the apart since I found out. I've legitimately been on social media since the minute I found out, spreading awareness, sending out flyers, contact information, anything to get my baby home. I have not slept in 3 days. I have not ate in 3 days.
If you have any information that could lead to Kimani's whereabouts, you're asked to call Toledo Police.
So that was her mom, Tiara. Good to see you, Michelle. So we know that Darnell is the one who murdered Kimani. We know she was living with grandma. We know grandma had something to do with it or was aware of what was going on in that home. Her mom did not know what was going on in that home because she had parental rights. But like I said, she didn't have custody of Kimani. And that's just You know, it's like Maddie Soto. She never lived a good, healthy home life, and she ended up being abused and raped and then murdered. Her throat cut, beat, and left in an abandoned firehouse. We're going to play this next clip, and this one, it has the interview with the grandma. So we're going to hear more about that, and then it also has an interview with the cousin. So we'll keep touching base, keep letting me know what you think. Nyla's mom says, my boys are 16, 17, never let them home alone at night, but I also worry about literally everything. Yeah, and there's, you know, allegedly she was left alone a lot, and it is alleged that Grandma Dorothy would abuse Kimani. So she would beat her, allegedly. It's so sad.
Kimani she was phenomenal.
This is a really, really good video.
Kimani was
a little
a
long,
hooper.
but
She loved older music.
you need to know everything.
She loved playing video games.
See you, Michelle.
She played basketball for Spring Elementary. She was highly intelligent. She loved the friends and family that she was allowed to be around. She was phenomenal. Like I said, she was like no other kid her age.
This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off.
I mean, her throat almost cut off. Let me play a disclaimer really quick. Fair use disclaimer. For purposes of that, I'm playing the video. You know, YouTube. Coming for me.
I just wish that when I was down here last, that I had just taken her to Indianapolis with me, so this would never happen.
Hey, abuelitas.
A lot of things, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I just really wish that whatever happened and whoever did this, y'all didn't have to do that to her.
One of our SWAT teams was working a dangerous individual who was wanted for a serious crime.
This is an absolute animal that came into our town. Our SWAT are the best of the best. We just sent a message. You murder somebody, do not come to this town.
This is a really good video. I'll link everything in the description so you guys can go watch all the sources.
It's just devastating that that me and my family have
Hey,
to go through
Natasha.
this.
R.I.P. Kimani.
We are tracking new developments in a disturbing story. A 13-year-old girl reportedly killed by her father. Her body left inside an abandoned home in East Toledo.
Along with Kaylee Marintet, I am Jeff Smith. It is a situation that continues to evolve. Toledo police issuing an alert that Kimani LATIGUE was missing 1 week ago. 6 days later, TPD finds her body, and now new information on how Kimani died and where the man who police say killed her is right now.
Here's what we've learned in the last few hours. Police say a SWAT team found Kimani's dad, Darnell Jones, in Columbus. There was reportedly an altercation, and officers
We're gonna watch that
shot
body cam.
Jones. Officials say they recovered a gun, and Jones is expected to survive.
Lucas County Coroner's Office also releasing Kimani's cause of death. An autopsy showed that she died from multiple wounds to the neck, and the coroner ruled her death a homicide.
Late this afternoon, Kimani's grandmother spoke exclusively with WTOL 11. We have that full interview in just a moment.
Here's how the story has unfolded over the last week. Toledo police posted the alert that Kimani was missing on Tuesday, March 18th. It was just after 4 p.m. She was last seen reported at her grandmother's home on Elm Street. That's in North Toledo. The next day, WTOL 11 spoke with the teen's grandmother, Dorothy LATIGUE. She's also Kimani's legal guardian. She said she came home from work Tuesday morning, found Kimani was missing. She called her school before making a report to Toledo police.
By Friday, family, friends, and even strangers came out to North Toledo to search for Kimani. Her mother, Tiara Caston, was there from Cleveland.
We just
Kimani's
watched that.
dad, Darnell Jones, would be charged with abduction on Sunday, March 23rd. Court documents showed he was the last person with her before she went missing.
And then on Monday, March 24th, police found a body inside a home on Miami Street in East Toledo. The Lucas County Coroner's Office would later identify the remains as those of the 13-year-old.
Yes, Mayla's mom. Some people believe he moved her more than once before putting her at the house, kind of like Stephen Stearns. I believe that. I do believe he did. And like I said, I do believe he was abusing her for way more than
Kimani LATIGUE. Her time of death posted at 12:19 p.m.
Good to see you, Natasha.
We have team coverage tracking all of the angles and developments in this investigation, from an exclusive interview with Kimani's grandmother to her school, her life, and her death.
Plus, Henry Norrell spoke with members of Toledo City Council about what they plan to do next. And Steve Iwanek is with family and community members gathered to make sure Kimani's memory lives on.
We start first with the new information out of Columbus. Police there say officers from a SWAT team shot Kimani's dad, Darnell Jones, just before noon.
A spokesperson for the Columbus Police Department did not identify Jones initially, but has since named him as the suspect that officers encountered Tuesday morning.
One of our SWAT teams was working a dangerous individual who was wanted for a serious crime. And SWAT was given information that this gentleman was in this particular area. When SWAT arrived, they did make contact with the suspect in question that they were looking for, confirming the identity of, in fact, that suspect being the person that they were watching. At some point during the interaction with SWAT officers, I can confirm that an officer did discharge their firearm, striking the suspect. The suspect was transported to a local hospital. That suspect is currently in stable condition. Thankfully,
We're going to watch that body cam.
were injured.
A few
No one
minutes
in the
on.
public was injured, but it's important to know, obviously, given this is an unusual area where we do not see a lot of crime, we just want to reassure the
We are covering the Kimani LATIGUE case. This is the clip that's just going to show the interview with her grandma, who had custody of her, if you weren't aware of the case, for all the new people
that
hopping in the chat.
this is a safe, contained situation, and there is no longer a threat to the public.
Were any guns recovered off of the suspect?
I can confirm that there was a firearm recovered from the scene that obviously was not the police firearm. So, like I said, it's still early. We're working through that, but I can confirm we did recover a firearm.
Do we know what the suspect was doing in this area?
We don't know that, and that is one of the things that investigators are actively trying to determine right now, because we don't believe there's any reason for him to be in this specific area in terms of knowing someone or trying to engage in any additional criminal activity.
Was the suspect pulled over in a car? We saw a car that was being looked at.
Yeah.
Was he in a home? Where was he?
There was a vehicle involved.
Yeah, Mayla's
this
mom, I
interaction,
don't-
can't say happened outside. Beyond that,
I don't do
we can't get
Facebook.
into
I
the
don't have
specifics
Facebook,
just yet until
so I
we
can't even
continue
hop in.
the investigation.
So you're saying he's unstable, so you believe these are not life-threatening injuries?
Correct. We do believe that he will survive his injury.
While
We're
the
gonna watch that body
spokesperson
cam.
for Columbus
Kind of
Police
wild.
didn't release much information, the president of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 9 did. He detailed some of the disturbing details in this case and outlined his understanding of why officers were searching for Jones in the first place.
I received a call we never want to get. One of our officers was involved in a police-involved shooting. Immediately went to scene to speak to our officer, one of our SWAT officers, a dedicated officer, highly trained, as you know, our Special Operations Bureau, longtime member. He's okay. Thank God he's okay. When I heard about this case, this was an individual wanted for homicide out of Toledo. I called my union counterpart in Toledo. I said, hey, good news, we have your guy. Your guy committed a murder, chose to fled to our town. I'll tell you right now, the wrong town to come to if you murder somebody. Our SWAT team will go out looking for you. This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off. This is an absolute animal that came into our town. I understand some of your editors won't let you print the word animal or view the word animal. If people are more offended to how I'm describing him, how he treated that girl, that's on them, not on me. Again, I'm glad our officers are okay. Our SWAT are the best of the best. We just sent a message. You murder somebody, do not come to this town.
Do you know
Wow.
anything about what led up to the shooting?
I know they were looking for him. I worked the street yesterday, and there was a bolo put out yesterday about this, so it was on everybody's mind. The officers are circulating area, patrol detectives, they're looking for this individual. This is what SWAT does. SWAT goes out there. Some of them have uniforms, some are in plain clothes, in plain cars. It's my understanding that they had a location on this suspect vehicle, and they did what they do. They circulated the area, they saturated the area of the short north, and one of the SWAT officers did find them. There was a confrontation. The individual had a gun. You pull a gun on his officers. We've said many times, this is the outcome you could expect. The officers shot him. It's my understanding he is in a local hospital right now.
Did he fire back?
I do not know if he fired back. I just know a gun was recovered.
He did fire
from the
back.
scene.
Brian, can you talk about, you mentioned
Fired
how
first.
obviously how dangerous this suspect was, how relieved you are that none of your officers or any of the nearby neighbors were
100%.
injured given what it could have been?
It's my understanding this individual might have been walking around the short north area all night. You got to, not just a murderer, a violent murderer, a sadistic murderer in our neighborhoods is appalling. Again, thankful for the men and women of the Division of Police, our members, for going out there every day, finding these individuals and removing them from our street. I'm so glad nobody else was hurt.
Hours after police found Kimani's body in that abandoned East Toledo home, videos posted to social media Monday appeared to show officers taking her grandmother, Dorothy LATIGUE, away in handcuffs. Police have since said that she was not arrested, and Dorothy talked exclusively with WTOL 11 Silver Barker about Kimani and what she says really happened between her and TPD.
My first question for you,
This is wild.
yesterday, lots of things was going on. We want to know specifically at your home, there was a lot of speculation online that you were being arrested, but when we checked with police, that was not the case. So can you further clarify on exactly what did happen yesterday at your home?
Well, I was called and told that there was a mob of people in front of my house. They were angry. It was more or less the people that were here earlier waiting to see if it was Kimani that was in the home. And basically some people from the neighborhood had contacted me and said that there was a mob in front of my house and they were talking about what they were going to do to me once I came home. So the police, the detective said that she would have a unit come out and help me get my things and more or less escort me off the property. I asked to be handcuffed.
This is Grandma
just
Dorothy,
so they can get
who had
away
custody
from
of
my
Kimani.
property.
Are you scared?
So no, I was never arrested. I was
You would
taken
ask to be escorted by police for that reason?
downtown, but I was never
Is that
arrested.
necessary?
Are you scared for your safety right now?
I am.
What are some of the things that you've been hearing and receiving from people?
They said they was gonna blow up my house. They said they was gonna do harm to me. It's just been a barrage of different things that they've been stating.
And now yesterday, or let's backtrack first for a little bit. So you are the guardian of Kimani, or you were the guardian of Kimani, correct?
I am the legal guardian of Kimani.
Okay. So in terms of taking care of her, when was Kimani placed under your care?
A year ago.
You take care of her.
She's been in my home for the past 5.5 years, but I just obtained legal custody of her a year ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
you
was
and
wrong.
Kimani close?
I thought it was 5.
We were.
5 years.
What were some of the things, trying to think of her and paint a memory of her in a good light, right now with everything that's going on, what was Kimani like? Tell me a little bit about how Kimani was in the time that you've got to
Kimani was phenomenal. Kimani was a helper. Like she was older than what she appeared to be. Like, you know how they say somebody has an old soul? She was that. She loved older music. She loved playing video games. She loved the friends and family that she was allowed to be around.
This is the grandma who I was talking about at the beginning, who allegedly had something to do with Darnell. Allegedly, she lost custody of her children when they were young. This grandma, Dorothy, has a record. And my question is why I titled this, She Was Failed by Everyone, including the system. Because I thought, and I'm sure it probably differs from state to state, but I thought that you can have foster, you can be a foster to people if you were a criminal. I don't know. Let me know wherever you're from if that's true. But I thought that was like a thing.
She played basketball
Why
for
did she have
Spring
custody of
Elementary.
Kimani, so?
She was highly intelligent.
That's her name.
So I'd like to clear up the mental issue statements. No, she was not mentally ill in any way. We had her, assessed, and they didn't feel as if anything was wrong with her mentally. So that was not a issue. But back to Kimani, she would, like, say for instance, someone would come over and they had children. They didn't have to worry about their kids because Kimani immediately embraced them and would play with them, you know, kid stuff. She was phenomenal.
in Indiana,
Like I said,
right?
she was like no other kid her age.
What school did Kimani go to?
She went to Spring Elementary.
And we were told that at that time she was doing good in school as well too, correct?
She was. She had brought her grade point average up from a 3.4 to a 3.9. And, you know, actually they were going to have an award ceremony for the basketball players today at 5:30. But when I divulged to them that she had passed, they've rescheduled it. She was going to receive her trophy for being on the team and stuff.
Yes, Mayla's mom. You said, what did she mean by family she wasn't allowed to be around with? There's a lot of SA going on in this family, if you ask me. Good to see you. Be nice. Yeah, she clearly wasn't. There was things happening that were kept in the dark.
And she has a birthday that's coming up.
Her birthday is
failed
Friday.
by everyone, including her father.
She would have been 14.
Did you have any plans for her for her birthday?
We were going to have her a large birthday party because it would have been her first birthday where, once again, all of my children were together and could participate in the party. Her mom was supposed to come and everything. So I asked her early on, what type of party do you want? She said she wanted a basketball themed party. So that's what I bought. Things that revolved around her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Past, they've rescheduled it. She was going to receive her trophy for being, you know, on the team and stuff.
Oh, that went back a little bit. I'm sorry.
And she has a birthday that's coming up.
Her birthday is Friday.
And she would have been turning 14.
She would have been
That
14.
was yesterday, by the way. Imani's birthday was
For her
yesterday.
birthday.
We were going to have her a large birthday party because it would have been her first birthday where, once again, all of my children were together and could participate in the party. Her mom was supposed to come and everything. So I asked her early on, what type of party do you want? She said she wanted a basketball themed party. So that's what I bought. Things that revolved around her playing basketball. I'm still receiving stuff in the mail for that.
So there's been some confusion now in terms of when it comes to family.
There's emotion, but I'm not getting sad and or emotional over Kimani. I feel like she's a little angry, or no?
You know, who's her biological father?
Everyone grieves different, though. So.
And then also, was she in the foster care system? Can you clear up a little bit of all of that? You know, when Kimani was placed in your care, you know, when is the LCCS? Who exactly did she come from, and how did she?
She came from her other legal guardian. I choose not to state her name, but she came from her other legal guardian because the other legal guardian and I were best friends. The other legal guardian is
doing
my daughter, Kimani's mom, godmother. And we had already discussed when early on, because she's been with this person since she was 9 months old. My daughter has never really had custody of Kimani. So she's been with this person since she was 9 months old until, like I said, maybe 5.5 years ago. Now, off and on, this person, we would interact and, you know, do different things with her, for her, or I would contact her and tell her, well, I need this, or Kimani would like that. And she would come by and oblige, and we would commence.
What? Commence?
It's just too much.
Earlier you mentioned, when you were talking about what Kimani was like, you know, you had mentioned that when family members did come over, who were allowed around her. Can you expand on that? Is there family members that weren't allowed around her?
No, it's just not very many that came around. And those that did, you know, she acted, as far as I'm concerned, she acted accordingly. She embraced all children, bad or good. Man. Okay, next question.
So
Whoa.
now we do
Whoa.
know that
next
Darnell,
question.
people are looking for Darnell Jones right now. The police are looking for Darnell Jones, and there's an arrest warrant out for him. Do you
No,
have any idea
Darnell
of his
is
whereabouts?
Kimani's dad, not
Oh,
her.
well,
That's the mother-in-law.
to my knowledge, he was just arrested in Columbus. He just recently had a shootout with the police in Columbus. They're saying that he confessed to her murder, and no, I take that back. They're saying that he confessed to her rape and slitting her throat.
What part, Myla?
How's it feel to learn that?
There's a lot going on here.
I can't even say.
As the police report mentions, Kimani was last seen with.
I don't know. I get weird vibes.
Do you have
from
any
this.
regrets of letting Kimani go with, as you're her guardian? Do you have any regrets of letting Kimani go with Darnell?
I do. Only because, like I said, I feel deceived. I feel like this was
Deceived?
pre-planned. I feel like you meant to do this. I feel like you was grooming her.
Why does she feel that way? Like, if she didn't know that if she thought he was a good person and her father, like, why would you think this all of a sudden? Like, oh yeah, I knew he was grooming her. Well, so then you saw things and you did nothing about it. You were somehow involved.
When you say grooming her, is there things that you saw before
In my
this
opinion.
leading
No, I never saw anything out the ordinary. But when molesters decide to choose prey, they groom you first. So they
you would know you were living
they give
with
you
her.
gifts. They try and make you comfortable with them. They try and say little things to you that you and they can keep secret, and then eventually they pounce. And that's how I feel that how all of this is played out, I feel that's what happened. She was a virgin. She didn't like boys.
Wait. She was a virgin. She didn't like boys. What does that mean? Like, she didn't like boys because she was too young? What does that have anything to do with this? This is a part of the interview where I question things. Well, I'm questioning all of it, but
There's also comments, and we're just trying to address those and get those addressed. But there's comments online and speculation again that
she's a 13-year-old girl.
Kimani, her home situation, she was abused. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, abuse in whose eyes? Because she was not abused. Yes, she was chastised whenever she was wrong or did things wrong. Other than that, she was not abused. She was not just whooped for no reason or just because I felt like it. I've went through this twice because the school system had contacted CSB on her behalf when she went to Bennett Academy. And they came in, they did a case study and closed it. They've stated there.
So there was prior reports of abuse from Kimani reporting Grandma Dorothy here on the screen.
There's a way to chastise children without physically harming them. And you need to whoop them on their behind, nowhere else. So, okay, with that in mind,
what?
I knew that. So she didn't have like bruises all over.
She did.
How long ago
It
was
was
that?
reported. We're going to get to that.
I would say the latest, it was approximately 7 months ago.
And so you say the latest. So was it a few times that they came into your
It
home?
was twice total.
So twice total that they came into your home. Okay. And it was offered, like you mentioned, what you just said. Earlier,
Yes.
explaining.
Yes.
Good
Now,
point, Molly.
in terms of, this whole situation, so you were not arrested, correct? And that's
Correct.
what, a lot of people seem to think.
This
as they
has
saw
been
you going
said,
on
by the way.
You asked
that
for it,
she
correct?
was letting people in the home.
Yes.
That was our Silver Barker there. Kimani's family came out of town to search for her. Now they say they're planning a funeral instead. Silver Barker spoke with Kimani's aunt about the relationship and the things she says she regrets.
I'm Dorothy's second oldest daughter. I'm Kimani's aunt. My name is Sanika. I live in
Tanika,
Indianapolis.
shady too.
All
We're gonna
this
hear
that is
from
going
Tiara.
on is just, it's devastating. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
no.
think that, you see it happen around the world, but when it hits
Yeah.
close to your heart, you really just be thinking like, did I do something wrong? Did I fail her? She didn't have the life to live that we have got to grow and live. She was only 13. So to know that somebody that I trusted, which was her father, to come through and deceive us just to get to Kimani in some sexual way or a harmful way, that hurts me to the fullest. And the point I feel like I failed her.
Where was the
Me as
roommate?
being her aunt, a person that she could run to and tell anything and everything to. That was that was that was my girl. That was my baby. And to hear all of this, to know all of this, and to be going through all this and hearing it for as long as that it went on, it's very devastating. I see so many people that are supposed to be my family that's going against my mom and me for that instance, and saying like, oh, she failed her, she had something to do with it, she had this and that. It doesn't matter at this point. For right now, and until we get justice for Kimani, it's all about Kimani. What I would like to say is there's a lot of people on the internet starting GoFundMe's, and that's not what we need right now, because it's not what Kimani needs. The funeral home has objected to say that they're going to come and pay for everything, so there's no need for any GoFundMe pages, any of that.
Why did she
Everything is
bring that
being
up?
taken care of, that needs to be taken care of by her family, her immediate family.
Does it
Why
upset
did she
you
say
that there
that?
are GoFundMe's? Some of them, I think, in cases might be scams too, as well. That are going around.
What upsets me is that people are starting these GoFundMe pages and putting Kimani name underneath it, and they know that it's going to get viewed, and people have sympathy and feel some type of way about that. And some of them can be scams, but I know some of them have come from family members. When just let the immediate family handle that. Like, what y'all gonna do with the money if y'all not turning it into the funeral home? There's no need.
This is
Let
weird.
us handle it. Y'all just sit back and give us the emotional support that we need. That's what we need right now. As a family, as a community, we should all come together and just give each other the emotional support that we honestly need. And that's just what I asked for.
I think this lady's making me a little angry. I think she needs to, if that's how she feels, then she needs to tell the truth about their home life, because Kimani was living with her mother, this girl's mother. So spill the beans then about how they were living. If
everybody to,
that's how you feel.
calm down, breathe. I know this is a hard time, because it's not just a hard time for y'all. This is a rough time for me. I just need y'all to come together and understand that we need each other as a community, as a family, and emotional support is what we need the most in this situation.
Yesterday the crowd was. Yesterday, if you were here, I'm assuming the crowd was very upset. Lots of emotions going through
Mhm.
too. Especially at this time with such a sensitive situation.
It does matter, by the way,
We've
how
heard
she was
multiple
living in
comments
that
out in the
home.
crowd, attacking or pointing fingers at your mom.
Mhm.
So, what has it been like trying to be her support system and helping her out?
In a way, you have to be mature enough to decide, am I going to follow along with the crowd, or am I going to, stick around with the loner? I'm to the point where I'm not following nobody. I'm going with what's right. If it was your mother, if it was your niece, would you console your mother? Would you console the person that was closest
No,
to her, who lived
not
with
if she had
her?
something to do with
I'm
it.
not out to have a torch and the pitchforks and all out to go against anybody except the person who did this, which I believe was her father, Darnell. I don't have any other anger pushed towards anybody else. I'm angry that this happened, but I'm angry at the person who did this.
Do you know if have you been in contact with Tiara, the mother?
Yeah, I've been in contact with my sister. It's been briefly. It's been over through text. Like I said, I live in Indianapolis. I seen her yesterday, but that was very brief. It wasn't even more than 5 minutes. It was more or less that she wanted to show me my other niece, Kazaria, which is Kimani's youngest sister. But it wasn't like it was oh sis, what are we gonna do? Any of that. And I don't wish this on nobody. I really don't. I could, Your mind go different places when it's a baby. That was a baby. Like I said, I have a very close relationship with Kimani. She was a tomboy. She wasn't out looking for, trying to be fast or, mischievous or any of that. So for her mother to come down and have all this to say and all that, Tierra, where was you for the past 4 years? We haven't seen you since Kimani TikTok party. You haven't called her. You haven't sent her anything. You haven't said, oh, baby, I'm going to come get you for a weekend. We haven't seen you until this happened. Why we got to see you when it's a tragic moment? So, Tierra, where do you stand?
She's having beef with Tierra,
Yes.
Kimani's mom, right now through this
Past 4
interview.
years, you're saying there's very little communication.
Very, very minimum. It wasn't even, she'll call my mom. She'll go through me and say, have you talked to mommy? And I'm like, no, about what? And she'll say, oh, well, she got custody of Kimani and she trying to get child support from me. So it wasn't that Tierra was concerned about Kimani. It was more of the why she want child support from me.
What is the relationship between your mother and your sister, Tierra?
It's very distant. They had their words. They fought. Kimani mother has a godmother that Kimani was with before my mom got her. And there was no communication then from Tierra. I feel like Tierra just let her go. Because any mother would be on her toes to get her children back. That wasn't the case here. It just wasn't.
When was Kimani taken away from Tierra?
I'll say about 7-8 months. And then Tierra godmother stepped in and got custody of Kimani, which would have been around 9 months.
Tierra lost custody of Kimani at 7 to 8 months.
Yeah, and Kimani had been with that lady from 9 months all the way up until about, I'd say 5.5 years ago. So it wasn't like Tierra was actually in the picture, saying, hey, maybe I can start getting myself together to get my child back so nobody else can get her.
You ever worried for Kimani's safety with any of the family members or anyone?
I wouldn't say I was worried because I was here. I was here every winter break, spring break, holidays, birthdays. I was here for Kimani. Yes, you come and you enjoy time with your family, but I was here for my niece. I also brought my youngest sister and her 2 kids from Indianapolis to be here for Kimani because we've been in the system before. So I know how it feels to feel like, dang, I'm at somebody's house or not feeling not wanted. I know those feelings. So I tried to give Kimani that at all times because she wanted and loved by her aunts. And this is just devastating that I have to go through this for the rest of my life and knowing I'll never have the embrace of my niece, hey, TT, what you doing? When you coming down here, I'll never get to hear that from my baby again. And that's what kills me the most.
Why is no one emotional about this? I feel like it's just so emotionless.
I just wish that
all of these
when I
interviews
was down here last, that I had just taken her to Indianapolis with me. So this would have never happened.
No, the mom corrects this at the end.
A lot of things, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I just really wish that whatever happened and whoever did this, y'all didn't have to do that to her. There's plenty of people out here with, grown people that put themselves out there to be, the sex workers or whatever it may be. You didn't have to do this to a child. There was nothing that Kimani would have done to make you hurt her. So she was a very timid kid, tomboyish, reserved. She wasn't, loud and out there. So it's just devastating that me and my family have to go through this.
Is there anything else that you would like to add at this time in the interview? Anything else that I didn't ask, maybe?
I just want people to understand that family is family. And at the end of the day, don't be so eager to go against your family. Talk to your family. and talk to the children. These children may be scared to talk to the parents about things that's going on.
Kimani wasn't talking about her family, about what was going on, though.
Or what may be going on because they feel like they may get in trouble. But make it known that to your kids that
Right,
you can talk
Melody?
to me. Make it
Always says, I
very
trust
open.
Mother,
You can talk to me about any and everything. Because that's what these kids need to hear nowadays. Instead of going on social media and talking to somebody over social media about it, like he did this or she may done that. Talk to your family because they can handle. They're the adults. They're supposed to handle it.
Our community is.
So that's the aunt, but we're going to hear from the mom as well. What do you guys think? Let me go back to this is who was responsible, Darnell Jones. Her father, Kimani's father. Like I said before, he has a long rap sheet. We're going to go through that. Give me 1 second. So that's Darnell Jones. That's who's being charged with her murder. Slitting her throat almost all the way, abusing her sexually and physically, and cutting off her hands. So, okay, here we go. This is Darnell's rap sheet. So, 2011, disorderly conduct. May 2011, public intoxication, offensive behavior, resisting arrest, reckless or by force, or interfere with lawful arrest of self or another. 3 months later, in 2011, arson, property of another, disorderly conduct. February 2015, having weapons while under disability under indictment, convicted of felony. 8 days later, criminal, damaging or endangering property to cause or create substantial risk of physical harm. August 8th, 2017, felonious assault, victim seriously harmed. December 2017, rules for driving in marked lanes, seatbelt. June 2018, again, disorderly conduct, public intoxication, offensive behavior. October of 2018, carrying concealed weapons, deadly weapon, or another handgun, disorderly conduct, public intoxication, present risk or harm to others or property. These are all the charges he's getting. May 2019, again, disorderly conduct and public intoxication, menacing, knowingly causing another to experience serious physical harm, amended from aggravated menacing, knowingly caused to believe serious physical harm. This is all from the court website. July 2019, again, domestic violence, cause or attempt to cause physical harm, obstructing official business, hamper or impeding public official use or possession or sale of paraphernalia, and disorderly conduct, public intoxication, present risk or harm to others or property. July 2021, tinted glass, he got pulled over for that. August 2022, having weapons while under disability, firearms discharged. March 2025, abduction and removal from place found. March 24th, murder, caused death while attempting an F1 or F2 violent offense, felonious assault, victim seriously harmed, and now he's being charged with attempting to shoot at a peace officer. That's quite a rap sheet. So I did cover who Darnell was. Like I said, he was 33 years old. He was the father. Allegedly, at the beginning, it was said that he wasn't the father. And, you know, with such a record like this, clearly there's something mentally wrong, right? Yeah, I'm sick. What a sick man. Yes. I'm glad you're back, established. And I'm going to play the clip of the father from 2011, and he's having like a mental breakdown. And I wonder what he had lived through or experienced. Not that it makes it okay. I'm not making excuses for him. He should definitely pay for what he did to Kimani. It's a horrific crime. It's utterly horrific. And I'm just curious, when you listen to everything he says in this, I'm not surprised to hear that he lost his mind. But I also wonder a lot of what he lived through and experienced as a child and in his life to make him act this way in this video. I had not seen this before, and I think it's very concerning.
Y'all, I'm really going through some things and people don't know.
This is from the Family TV, by the way. I will link everyone in the description.
I'm not mad. So
Oh, I'm sorry, my internet's...
much stress, so much anger. And I'm just trying to do the right thing. I pray. I read my Bible. I try to help out people the best as I can. And I'm just not feeling this.
This was an older video.
It ain't financial or none of that, bro. If you thinking that's what it is, it's nothing like that. It's just something mental. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through something mentally and physically fucked up with me. I ain't been feeling the same. Ain't nothing wrong, man. Just, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that's on my chest that I can't control. It ain't, like, I don't know how to explain it, man. All I gotta do is just keep trying to stay good, be good, man. That's all. I ain't get on here to have nobody show sympathy, nothing, or anything. It's just so much happens to people out here, and nobody know what really the real stories be.
Like, what is he talking about? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
just get
wow.
on here, try to let people know what's going on. If you care, you care. It's just something mental. I just want a hug, y'all.
You want a
Give me a
hug?
hug. A hug would be wonderful. Buddha, you remember when you told me that God got a plan for me? You told me God got a plan for me. And that's the reason why I keep going through all of this shit. Because he keep putting me through the test. When is the test gonna be over, bro?
This is very dark. Whether he's faking it or not.
I just want it to be over with. I hate the way I think. I hate the way I see things. And all I do is sit back and try to just act like I don't see shit. Because if I do something about it, I'm going to jail. I'm the one getting in trouble.
Like, what was he experiencing? I mean, that's who unalived Kimani. That's her father. A lot of inner demons for sure. Sucks because he hurt an innocent child in the process. I agree. Oh man, he could have been paranoid and schizophrenic. I mean, think about the brutal crime that he committed. Absolutely. That's why I wanted to play that, because I wanted to keep in mind, you know, that there's so much to this case. So this is Grandma, who we saw in the interview, Grandma Dorothy, who had custody of Kimani. Let's talk about her. She was born on October 15th, 1974. She also had a number of arrests. She was arrested in September of 2019. She was a subject in an investigation involving gunshots. May 12th, 2015, sorry. She was charged with aggravated burglary and assaulted a female. That night, when she got home from work, she was working an overnight shift, allegedly, and she finds home in disarray. The door is unlocked and it smells of gas, and that's when Kimani was missing. It is alleged that Kimani was missing, and her glasses, which she needed to see, were left behind, and her undergarments were left behind. So clearly something happened in the home, I believe. Grandma Dorothy says that Kimani had never run away before. She describes Kimani as a latchkey kid. She showed up for school, Kimani, and her cell phone had been going straight to voicemail after. And the teen had not been seen since Sunday night after 10 p.m. Again, her grandmother was working a night shift, so I'm curious where she was working too. She came home and that the door was unlocked. And remember, Darnell said that he had gone over there because Kimani called him because she said that someone was breaking in the house. So Darnell allegedly went over there with a cousin who we don't know nothing about, probably because he doesn't exist. Because I feel like the authorities would have mentioned that he was going to be charged as well, right? The alleged cousin. Like I said, the glasses and Kimani's keys were left behind. Kimani's father, Darnell, claimed before he got arrested that he had last seen her on Sunday night and he left and he didn't know what happened. But Grandma did identify Kimani's body. So it is alleged that Dorothy had something to do with, like I said, Tiara losing custody of Kimani, which we will hear from Tiara. And Tiara is Kimani's mother. And it is alleged that Dorothy lied to authorities when Kiara was a baby in some time frame that they were relating with each other, lied about Tiara being an unfit parent. And so Tiara lost custody of Kimani. And that's why she lived with a godmother from like 9 months. And then Grandma gets custody. Feels like they get no sympathy. They need to focus on her. She's evil. Every time I feel it, every time I see it. I agree, established. I agree. The grandma has much more to do and knows more than she's letting out. I agree, in my opinion. The grandma was emotionless while waiting to identify the body. Right. No one else is talking about him. Right. So there's Grandma Dorothy again. I did pull this up on Dorothy. This was when she had an incident with law enforcement, and it says complainant defendant was ordered to provide her information as she was a subject of an investigation involving gunshots being fired. The defendant refused to provide that information several times to the sergeant and was placed into custody. So Grandma ain't all there either. I agree. And what's interesting is these texts on the screen are texts that allegedly Grandma Dorothy had in her phone. I'm not sure if she was sending them to herself or what she was trying to do here, but they're pretty wild text messages. It says, I'm going to read through them. I'm here. This is about business. If you respect my amount, I will return it to you right now. What? That's right. Right here, I'm asking for the amount of $4,000. That's the business you can have with me. So tell me if you are interested in reaching an agreement with me or I will take her to the border. So you guys get this, right? This is from her own phone, like texting herself, right? She's alleging that someone was texting her this information. Someone was basically extorting her for money about Kimani. This is wild. So tell me if you're interested in reaching an agreement with me or I will take her to the border. Send me the picture of her unharmed. You have my amount so we can fix it. How do we know you have her? Send us a picture of her unharmed or we can discuss the $4,000. Kimani is fine. Okay, give me your location. I need to talk to her, please. Who is in charge of the situation to agree and meet in public place to give it to him? I am, meet where. So she's acting like she's texting someone else. Look here, what happened is that my people picked it up. What am I looking for is to return it to you. As long as you don't involve the police in this, okay, can you meet me at McDonald's on Cherry Street? How long does it take to get there? You have my word, if you can meet me at the McDonald's on Cherry, then I won't contact the police. I'm just passing through. I'm headed there now. Who kidnapped Keimani allegedly would try to meet her at the McDonald's? I'm confused. I listened to some of the local statements about grandma. She has some bad history. Yeah, she does. Anyways, I thought this was interesting when I found these text messages. I'm wondering why law enforcement hasn't said anything and or no one has been cleared. I mean, I know Darnell is confessed to the crime, but no one else has been absolutely cleared and the investigation is still ongoing. So I'm curious. And if you see something, say something, right? Well, people did in this case. People did with Keimani, and she was ignored. She was telling people at school that she was being abused, and a teacher did listen to her, and I'm going to show that in a second, the text messages from the teacher. But the teachers reported this and nothing was ever done or investigated by CPS. CPS did go and show up to Dorothy's house, like you heard her say in the video, a few different times. And nothing was ever done. They found her fit to parent Keimani. They ended up leaving her in her care, in her custody. Another failure, I think, in this case was that Keimani did not meet the Amber Alert criteria. And we saw this in the Emily Pike case. So I really wanted to bring that up because Emily Pike also didn't meet the Amber Alert criteria. And many people feel that that should change. And I think so as well. I know some states are making changes, but I think every missing child should be on Amber Alert, whether we know why they're missing or not. I think this delays the chance of finding who's responsible, and it hurts the case, right? And so again, Emily Pike also had her hands cut off, and she didn't meet the Amber Alert criteria, and neither did Keimani. And everybody was involved, right? Family members knew about stuff going on, keeping things secret. The school knew, her friends knew. Her mom, Tiara, claims that she didn't know. And maybe she didn't. Maybe Tiara didn't tell her mother. She had been telling everybody else. So maybe, maybe Keimani didn't tell Tiara, her mother, because maybe Keimani felt like she had already told people and no one cared and no one helped. Again, another Maddie Soto situation, right? Very similar. The agency received a report on December 8th, 2023 for Grandma Dorothy, and 2 reports on March 21st, 2024 regarding the care of the girl. So I believe this is when Keimani let her teachers know. And she was in the care of Dorothy LATIGUE at the time. So I'm going to play a clip of the body cam of Darnell being shot. All around, he was suspicious, people, right? They need to at least have a system similar to Amber Alert, right? Or include all children missing, right? Regardless of the situation. Very similar to Maddie Soto and Stearns. And Emily Pike. I feel it's very, very similar. And it's terrible. I'm going to play the body cam footage. So trigger warning of Darnell being shot by SWAT. So he ended up being apprehended. They ended up shooting him. And then we're going to hear from the officer as well. Fair use disclaimer really quick. And let's show the body cam footage. Sorry, let me pull it up. You can kind of see him and his mental behavior here.
Show me your.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Video as police find and shoot the man they say killed her. What it shows happened just before an officer pulled the trigger. Plus, we get answers from Toledo's top cop.
We were able to develop information and leads and
as sad as it is, recover her and bring some closure to the family, to the community.
The investigation into the abduction and murder of the 13-year-old girl continues. The full uncut interview with Toledo Police Chief Mike Trenley.
Political officials are going to have to step up. The local organizations, nonprofit and private, the businesses are also going to have to step up, because at this point,
I'm going to fast forward to the body cam footage.
Russian is advised.
Here, man.
What's your hands? Kill me.
Dude, show me your fucking hands right now.
bro.
This
Pull
is
your fucking
wrong.
hand out of your. I swear to God, pull your.
Darnell, stop first.
Don't fucking move.
Don't move.
All right, suspect down. All you guys are okay.
Don't move. He's got 33 right there. 33 in his hand. No, it's.
Yay, thank you, Knight.
But there's 33s right here. Don't you move or you're going to get shot, okay? All right? Got it. Yep. That's him. Somebody get out.
Somebody get on the main air. Get us a medic.
This is so
I'm
good.
working on it.
All right, on your belly. All right. I got cuffs. There you go. Thank you, brother. We'll get you help, okay?
I just want to die, bro.
No, I know, but we
I
can't allow
just want to
that.
die, bro.
I can't. I don't want to live.
Get us some cruisers. Secure this scene. All right, who fired? Him in the car.
He did too.
All right. You did? I did not. Okay. He did. Okay. You good? All right. You good? All right. I know. All right. Listen to me. Listen, I got to roll you off. I got to get you up on your side, okay? I got to get you up on your side. I got you. All right. Where you hit at, bro?
I don't know. All in my leg.
All in your leg. He's all hit right here. I know. He's hitting his arm once.
Oh my God.
Need a medic here now. Where's your they're coming, okay? We got him. He's hit once in the arm. All right. He's hitting the side here. Yep, you're hitting the side. Okay. You're gonna be fine. Hey, look. You know what's good about this?
What?
Sit up, okay? You're gonna be fine.
I can't move my leg.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
I think we're broke. Where do you guys need us?
There you go. How's that?
Okay, broke.
Okay.
I can't get up.
Okay. We're gonna leave you sit here like this. Take a deep breath. Do me a favor. Take a deep breath for me, okay? Hey, move your car. Block that road. You're on shelter.
This is so crazy.
That road block.
Body cam is wild.
We can't lay you down. Okay, you gotta stay up. I'll hold you up. All right. You just relax. Lean back into there. There you go. You're gonna be fine. Listen, hey, nothing's ever that bad. All right.
It is.
Okay. Well, Darnell, right? Do you have anything else on you? Do you have any more guns? Yes. Where's the guns at?
Whoa.
Where's the other gun at? I don't. Darnell. Hey. Sorry. Darnell. Do you have anything else on you? Yeah, you said you had a gun. I don't. I think he's just fading. I don't know. Nope. Just stay back, okay, please? Stay back. Hey. Okay. Okay. We're making good witnesses. You're fine, ma'am. You're fine. We got to get him searched. The medic's going to take him. I know. Hey. Hey, you guys somebody just go chill somewhere else.
Did he maybe say, I don't want to live anymore because he knew what he had done? And yes, he's going to prison, and maybe he couldn't live with what he did also. Hey, Stubbs, good to see you.
Hey, have that cruiser start getting scene tape. Let the medic in. Step back. They're fine. It's fine. Yeah, we need a cart.
We need a cart. Cart.
Yeah, easy way out. If a cop would have shot him, right?
I
And he
know.
died.
Stay with me, bro. Keep talking to me, guys. Dave.
I don't give him grace.
5'11".
I don't feel bad. He got shot in the arm.
Officer support.
Not after what he did to Keimani. He cut her hands off.
Here, legs, arms. Which way do you want his head? Here. Right there. Okay. Up. You need him out of the cuffs?
He assaulted her for who knows how long. Was it a Stephen Stearns situation? Maybe. He cut her hands off and slit her throat almost all the way. Completely slit it.
Yeah, we're gonna need him out. All right, we're gonna have to.
And beat her.
Oh, now we're gonna roll you over one more time. All right, gotta get those cuffs off you. See, relax. Clean up. There you go. He's hitting the arm, leg, arm, and I believe left chest.
Yes, Mayla's mom. Her head was almost all cut off.
I
From
get
the
a good
body.
search on him. I am. Everything's got to come off. You taking him all down enough in this? Yeah. All right, that's fine. Pull this. All right.
Mm-hmm. Basically torture.
You got your gun. You have to help us lift? Yep. Grab one, grab the head. 1, 2, 3. Down. We're down. Hold on. Just stare at it. All right, I'm good. Hey, don't move your arm. I know it hurts. They're going to help you, okay? Well, we're not trying to hurt you. We're not trying to kill you. No, we're not going to take it off your arm, okay? They're going to cut it off in just a second.
Jones was due in court on weapons charges in Columbus, but did not appear because he remained in the hospital as of Thursday, March 27th. Now the call for justice continues. Rumors swirl on social media, and there may still be more questions than answers.
You make a good point, Mel, as mom says. Was she on the verge of telling? I just wonder why he did it now. I guess we have to wait and find out if how long he had been essaying her. I agree. I think something happened. And grandma happened to be away at midnight when someone was allegedly breaking into the house and he came and got her. I do. I think she was on the verge of telling. Sad she had a long life ahead of her. I wanted to play the cop talking in this clip for a little bit.
You know, there was a report sent out, but is there a reason why there wasn't an Amber Alert? That's
What
a
up,
lot of
Diamond
people's
Wing?
question.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so when she first went missing, our Amber Alert requires specific criteria when and how we do our Amber Alerts. And that's kind of like a national standard. And so it did not meet that criteria because at that point, there was not any thought of there was a family kidnapping or family being involved or any foul play at that point. At this point, we had a lot of different stories about a missing 13-year-old that may or may not have ran away for different reasons. So at that time, we'd already interviewed all the family members and we were talking to everybody. So there was.
I think there's a lot of darkness behind
would
this
have qualified
case,
for an Amber Alert,
but we
or
don't
that
know.
actually an Amber
A
Alert
lot
would have
stuff
done
going on.
for the investigation.
What is the usual criteria for an Amber Alert, just so people know?
Yeah, so there's different things, but a lot of times, especially when it involves a family member, we need to have that we suspect a family member has kidnapped them and has run off with them. That we
I don't
have
agree
physical
with this
cars or
Amber
locations and
Alert
stuff like that,
protocol.
something that we can provide. And for this type of case, it just did not meet that criteria.
Emily
Now, my
Pike
second
didn't meet
question
it
for you,
either.
TPD received a tip. You guys received a tip about the
So nobody meets it if they think you're a runaway as a teenager. They don't happen to think, oh, that someone got kidnapped, raped, and murdered.
body that was found in that house. That's how you guys first found out about it being there,
I'm
correct?
disgusted.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, actually. Which tip?
You guys received about the body being found on Miami Street in the house. There was a tip that you guys received, or was it anything in the report? It was mentioning that you guys were notified, and I believe it went to the detectives' work as well. There was communication and messaging through, was there a phone call or anything, or Crime Stoppers? Was there anything sent out? How did you guys find out about the body inside the house?
through detective work, really. So, so through some interviews and some investigating, at this time I can't disclose why or how, because it's still very pertinent to the investigation. And at this point, we're not ready to talk about that aspect of it. But yes, it was our detectives doing a great job interviewing and investigating and following up on some leads that got us to that location.
Now, going to the body when it was reported that it was found in the house, when lots of people found out and it spread in the community, people showed up very soon right after that while you guys were there doing your work. There are a lot of people live streaming on their phones, showing it and kind of just talking about it in general. There's a huge presence there. I mean, we saw it. I was there that day. Did that at all impact your guys' work there while you were doing that? Did it affect how you guys were doing? I mean, could you guys have done anything differently there if people weren't there, yelling, shouting? What?
No, obviously, anytime you add a little bit of chaos to a scene, that makes it a little bit harder for us to do our job. But, we're prepared for that. So we have officers that can contain the outer perimeter and make sure that no one gets in. And then our detectives, they're focused on their job. They're going to do their job, whether there's people watching or not. So they're still going to be able to do it. It's just the outside officers being involved more and trying to maintain, as you just said, a very highly agitated scene for good reasons, right? But the reality is, it doesn't affect the investigation itself. It just makes it a little bit harder for the officers on the scene to maintain that perimeter.
Do you have any idea how many of your officers were out there that day?
I actually don't know how many we had deployed out there that day. I know we had a lot of detectives, roughly 10 to 12 detectives that were on scene. As far as the outer perimeter for the number of patrol officers on scene, I don't know that number.
Now, moving on to Darnell Jones, he's in the hospital currently, and that's where we're kind of at with that situation. But I know that yesterday you mentioned in an interview that you guys sent detectives down there for questioning. Has he confessed to anything? Has he confessed previously before then? What are you guys getting?
So we did send detectives down and interviewed him in his hospital room. We made progress there. So we have some things that we're going through at this point. Once we get all the information that he provided that we've gathered, we'll meet with the prosecutors. We'll walk through that timeline with the prosecutors and decide with their guidance on the charges that will be filed. And then at that point, we'll talk about, what charges are going to be out there. We'll release that information. But right now, we did talk to him. We are moving forward. I would say we're in a pretty good spot.
He did confess, by the way.
Anyways, on moving forward with this case.
Speaking of charges, on Monday, we read in a report that he was charged with third-degree felony of abduction. At this point, what charges are we still looking at? Do you happen to know? Is that charge still there, and is a murder charge as well?
Yes.
So, as my understanding right now is the murder charge is added and the abduction charge is still there, but that's right now, those are the only charges that are out there. Obviously, as we work through all of the statements and all the leads that we have now, there may be additional charges.
Do you believe that Darnell acted alone, or is at the time right now, are you guys considering other suspects, or is there other people you guys are looking at?
We're always looking at the chance that there might be multiple people involved. I don't necessarily believe that or disbelieve that that's the case right now, but that is something that we will continue to run down through the investigations. There's statements that always conflict each other, and there's always kinds of things that need to be tied up in an investigation, and that's the phase we're in right now. So right now, we only have one person charged.
I know why you guys can't say what he told detectives yet. There was a lot of talk earlier about his statements not matching, which was said in a police report. There were a lot of inconsistent statements and stuff. The statement that he's given now, is it a bit clearer? You don't have to say the details of that. I know you guys are still working, but is it clear?
I think we have a much better understanding of what happened. By far a lot more understanding after we talked to him. But at that point, that's about as much detail as I can give you on our conversation with him.
Do you think that, hearing from the community, this is a case we've seen the social media very, very present with a lot of comments and sometimes speculation and misinterpretation, misinformation, a lot of that being spread out there in social media, people saying he was found before he was even found. Do you guys wish maybe you would have communicated a little earlier about anything about this case, or do you guys wish you would have had a press conference or something?
So there was nothing that we could have done in a press conference. We did a press release or a news release from the department, and our detective bureau did as well. And then our detective, our lieutenant in charge of the investigations, was on scene that day and actually gave an interview that day. There's nothing else that we could have done in a press conference. We gave out that information. We waited on the press release from the coroner. Those are different things that we do that give out details. A lot of times, and up until, he was arrested, there wasn't a lot of information we could put out. And so at that point, a press conference is not really going to accomplish anything. We were giving out as much information as we could. Social media is going to be social media, and people are always going to speculate and run with their own theories. And unfortunately, we can't control that. But the reality is, most things you read on social media, especially early, probably aren't even true.
Speaking of that and social media, is there any rumors right now regarding this case that you want to dispel right now that you can think of, like, hey, this is the fact?
I can't think of it. Well, I can't think of anything out there on social media right now. I try to avoid it as much as I can. So I don't have anything really right now that I would say, hey, stop listening to that because it's not true. And really, it's probably too early for us to even address some of those issues.
So, people, please watch your kids this summer. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Take care of your kids. There's monsters lurking everywhere. Let's get back to this PowerPoint. We're almost through the live. So I wanted to share the teacher. Keimani's teacher had reported abuse that Keimani came to her at school and confessed to her. And we covered that at the beginning, that CPS didn't do anything about it. They found that she could still be in custody of Dorothy. Allegedly, Grandma Dorothy was abusing her. It is alleged also that she had bruises one time at school, and that's why, and amongst other things. So these are, the teacher actually hopped into a chat, and this is what she said on the screen. I thought it was important. She says, I was her teacher. She told us she didn't feel safe. She told us she was terrified to go home. We all saw the marks, bruises, and injuries. I made multiple reports to CPS trying to get her the help she desperately needed to keep her safe. All of our voices were left unheard. CPS should be held accountable. We told them over and over. And then another post, she says, I am not okay. I tried so hard to get her removed from this environment. Sweet baby, my heart is broken. The system is broken. I am sick, but mostly just sad. I enjoyed being able to teach her, give her a hug every single morning she came into school, because that was all she ever wanted. Her friends tried. I tried. The school staff tried. No one listened. They wouldn't allow her to have a voice, and now she's dead. Thank you at Toledo's Children's Services for your lack of effing caring for these children. That's really hard to hear coming from a teacher. Yes, I agree, SW. It's really sad. It's really sad. Makes me sad for Maddie and just all of these, Emily Pike.
Still shock and
All of these
sadness tonight
children.
following the murder of 13-year-old Keimani LATIGUE.
In her 13 years, Keimani moved through 6 different schools. And tonight we're hearing from people who say they saw signs of abuse.
At Keimani's last school, Bennett Venture Academy, her English teacher says she noticed bruises. She said she reached out to child services, but nothing changed.
It's hard because, especially in a role like education, your day doesn't end at 3:30. You take these things home with you. They weigh on you. I'm a parent myself, and I tried my best to make sure that she was removed from that environment to make her have a safe place. And it just fell on deaf ears. And I think that had she been investigated more, this was looked more into, she would 100% be alive today.
Keimani moved to Spring Elementary School this year. It's a Toledo public school. We talked with a classmate there with their parents' permission. They echoed the stories of bruises her former teacher shared.
She came to school with bruises on her arms, and then they asked her, and she said that she was her grandma was being on fighting her and stuff, and she was fighting with her grandma.
Wow.
Now, it is important to note Kimani's grandma
I
is
can't.
not charged with any crimes. A spokesperson for TPS
Grandma
did tell
Dorothy.
WTOL 11 the district did not have any record of complaints filed with Toledo Police or Children's Services. Kimani's grandmother and legal guardian, Dorothy LATIGUE, did admit in an exclusive interview with WTOL 11 that Children's Services had been at her home twice. She said she was not charged and Kimani continued to live with her.
She was not abused. Yes, she was chastised whenever she was wrong or
Chastised?
did things wrong. Other than that, she was not abused. She was not just
We saw
whooped
this.
for no reason or just because I felt like it.
Whooped for no reason.
I've went through this twice because the school system had contacted CSP or CSB on her behalf when she went to Bennett Academy. And they came in, they did a case study and closed it. They've stated there's a way to chastise children without physically harming them.
Is that in the CPS handbook? There's a way to chastise children. I need to look. I don't have children. But again, she was failed by the system. We see it so much. Why was CPS called, and did they investigate? How deep did that investigation run? Because we see it happening all the time with children in all kinds of true crime cases and not true crime, just familial
You need
cases.
to whoop them on their behind, nowhere else. So, okay, with that in mind, I knew that.
This is Tiara
Spokesperson for Lucas
Kimani.
County Children's Services tells
Kimani's
WTOL 11
mom's
any records
mom.
the organization has are protected under Ohio privacy laws per the Lucas County prosecutor and cannot be released as public record. Coming up this Friday.
So I want to play a short clip of the teacher. Well, I don't believe it's the teacher, but it's a clip about the
In
teacher.
her short 13 years, Kimani was enrolled in 6 different schools. And tonight, we're hearing from some of the people from those schools who say she came to school with potential signs of abuse.
Michael Sandlin joins us. Michael, what did they have to say to you?
Well, Kaylee, Jeff, they say they tried to sound the alarm and it fell on deaf ears. I spoke to a classmate of Kimani's who says she tried to tell a teacher, and I spoke to a teacher who says she tried to tell CSB. In both instances, the person they tried to help is now gone.
Yeah, the system is
She came to
broken.
school with bruises on her arms.
Oh, we
That's
just
7th
did
grader
it.
Imani Fisher, classmate of Kamani's from her most recent school, Spring Elementary. Fisher says she would often see Kimani come into class with
We just
visible
heard this.
markings, so she and other students decided to say something to a teacher.
And she said she would deal with it, but I don't think nothing happened.
TPS representatives say they have no records of abuse against Kimani to either CSB or TPD. But it's also not the first time someone has raised concerns about what was going on inside LATIGUE's home. Kayleen Harabedian was her 6th grade English teacher at Bennett Venture
Wow.
Academy, the last school she attended before spring. Harabedian says she also spotted visible markings and bruises on Kimani.
It's hard because especially in a role like education, your day doesn't end at 3:30. You take these things
We
home
just
with
saw
you.
that.
They weigh on you.
So CPS knew, definitely knew what was going on. Suppose they never lay a hand on your child, says child services. How can the grandma get away with it? I know. Enrolled in 6 different schools is a dead giveaway that the home isn't right. I agree. I absolutely agree with that statement, Nate. I do. Good to see you, MK. Thanks for being here. I'm going to play, we're almost so live. Thank you for being here and learning about the case if you didn't know about it. I'm going to play a clip of a TikTok. I don't know if it was I think a Facebook Live of outside the scene when grandma was being
Right here. They will not even let her see the baby. And find you
Oh,
with
wait.
me on the phone before she even got her been here.
Sorry, jumped ahead. I don't know why it did that. My bad. This is pretty wild. Trigger
See
warning.
the street to Miami by the water. Woodmont. I'm trying to see what the. This the mama. Don't come over here by me. Mr. Nosy Toledo. No, that's crazy.
That's the mom
Do
right
that
there.
to your own grandbaby. Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted and that you gave me life anyway. So I wanted to do
Talking
something
about
for you.
Dorothy.
I let you see your first grandchild come into this world, nigga. And this is what you do to her.
Joy, why ain't the granny crying? Right. My bad, Joy. I mean, I was trying to.
This is a Facebook
Just first
Live.
line. Don't even say shit. Just first it. Okay. Right on the. Why is it right there? Turn my Wi-Fi off.
I just wanted to show that really quick because the mom was
Yeah, me too.
acting a little much.
Bad,
And it shows
Joy.
the grandma being escorted out.
Hold on. I'm showing all them ugly. Oh, they only. What? They got all these ugly.
Y'all better go grab that mom.
Oh my God.
You guys, here she is.
Here she is. Here she is, you guys.
Wow.
Y'all poor baby. Y'all feel her.
That was outside of the house when they found her.
Hey, sis.
I didn't lock her ass up. She part of that shit too. Your own grandbaby.
No tears. Move. That's your grandbaby, though, right? No tears. That's your grandbaby, though, right?
She caught it responded with me on the phone before she even got her reach in here.
No tears. No tears.
That shit crazy. She need to go to the hospital right now in Chicago, bro. I've been
That's
on
why
her
they got her ass
days.
behind this line.
She just saw the body of her granddaughter who she's had custody of. And she didn't even, she's just standing there like, and she can hear everyone talking to her and being nasty to her. And she's just like standing there like nothing. I know people grieve differently, but that was very odd behavior to me. The last video we're going to watch just got released, and it's a clip with the mother, and she spills a lot of tea in this clip. It is rather noisy because the creator, True Crime with Savage, I believe is her name. I'm going to link everything down below. She is, I believe, a TikToker, and she has kids. So there's kids in the background in the video, so just beforehand. But this is a very important interview because Tiara, the mom of Keimani, she's the one being interviewed. And she gives a lot of background on Dorothy and Keimani, what's been going on with Keimani. So I did want to just say RIP to Keimani. I hope she gets complete justice. This broke my heart. Absolutely no respect for the baby. Everyone's screaming. I know. Gives me chills I can't even imagine. Not a single tear. Any grandmother or mother would be going mental, out of control, losing their mind, uncontrollable grief. Right, Laura? You're a grandma, so you would know. Which is terrible, you know? Like, and this just got released. So this is by True Crime with Savage Reality. It's very good. I just came across it when I was starting the live. So here is the mom giving her first interview on social media. Like I said, it does get loud with kids.
And the last time I gave it to them was during what calls a staff meeting. I gave it to them the last time in that staff meeting, and they tore it up in my face and threw it in the trash and continued on with the meeting like nothing had happened. So,
but you said she never went home with you though, right? She never got a chance to like go home. You just gave birth to her.
they took her from the hospital.
Took her from the hospital. Okay, so my next question, I don't want to hold you into, too long. I know you got a lot to do and you're busy right now. I understand. So they took her from you. Now, during this time that when they took her from you, the first person that she went with was the godmother, correct?
Yeah, They gave the godmother. They gave my godmother kinship care over my daughter when she was 1.5 years.
Okay. And how long did she stay with the godmother?
interview
I'm
was
not exactly
wild.
sure. I believe she stayed there solely up until she was like 5 or 6, and then they started bouncing her back and forth between the two.
Okay.
She was with a godmother from so long. How sad. How sad. My heart breaks for
So this basically lines up with what the grandmother, how the grandmother said that she was there off and on for about 5 years. Would that be fair to say?
My daughter's about to be 14 tomorrow. No. No, that's still not accounting for that's accounting for like 3 to 4 years.
Okay, so that timeline is just a little bit conflicted. Okay, so during this time of her being there, how many
Exactly.
years did you fight for your daughter after she was born?
Oh, I've always fought. Hey, I'm on the phone.
Whoa.
No, do not open that door.
Whoa.
No. You want to go out there? You can go out there and play if you
Imani's
want to.
mom.
But I can't have you playing in here. But no, I've always fought for my daughter. I've fought for my daughter since the day
hold
that
on,
I
sorry.
had her.
Give me 1 second.
Third-party custody transfer so that I could get my baby back, because she said that she did not want her anymore. She said my daughter was stealing. My daughter was lying. I don't know that any of that is factual, and I don't believe it.
So Dorothy was saying that she didn't want Kimani anymore and allegedly wanted to give her back to her mother because she was stealing and doing all kinds of other things, which we don't know if is even true.
But she said that my daughter was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and she just couldn't take it anymore. She wanted me to get my daughter. We were supposed to be going to court for that, to give me custody of my daughter back, because every place that I've always had space for my daughter. I've always made sure I had means to take care of.
Right.
Sorry, the audio is
So
this interview.
This abuse. What do you know about this abuse? Because one thing that I'm noticing is that there's a fair consensus from multiple family members that she was getting hit on by the grandmother. Did you know about anything about this, and how long did you know, and what steps did you take outside of, fighting for custody?
I know we have opinions about this.
Did a very good job of as far as I think that was so that they would be able to do what it was that they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. Again, I still have my parental rights, but because they are guardian, because they are custodian, if they don't give me the go ahead, I can't do anything.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, did you hear about the abuse? Like, how did you know anything about the abuse that the grandmother was doing?
I didn't hear about the abuse until the only thing that I've seen, because I've never even seen my mother hit my daughter other than like a spoon, like a wooden spoon to her hand. I haven't witnessed any of that, and I think that was for a reason.
Okay, and she is your biological mother, because that was in question as well, correct?
That is my biological mother, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
How they ended up, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all are so loud. I cannot even think straight. Can y'all please? That's why I said go out there and play with them so that they can scream and yell and holler as much as they want. Baby, my head, it's a lot of stuff going on in my head. I cannot focus. Can y'all please step out? Please. I'm not trying to be mean to y'all, but I need y'all out. Please. Go. I'm sorry.
Listen, you're okay. I'm a mother. I don't care about none of that. You do you.
She says, unfortunately, when she gets asked, that is your biological mother. Hey, Mo, are you back on your regular account? Let me know. That would hurt. She made it seem like getting hit with the wooden spoon was a big deal. I know, right? And being chastised.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Well, is there any other questions?
No,
or
I was
anything?
saying
'Cause
as far as
I got it.
No, I was saying as far as the abuse and things of that nature, you said that you didn't know anything about it. You just knew about the spoon and stuff like that. That's what you was explaining.
Yeah. About anything. the only thing I've ever seen my mother do to my daughter was hit her with the spoon. But I've recently met a bunch of my family that I didn't know existed, and they didn't know I existed. Apparently, they've been trying to figure out where this light-skinned baby came from.
Wow.
But just meeting them, and they have stories on top of stories on top of stories. People that have lived with my mother for months or years on end are telling me what they've witnessed. So
can you explain your sister? Apparently, your sister went on the news and she said that you never around and you only came around.
We saw the sister, right? That's the one that was crying in the video earlier. The one that was like, "Don't blame my mom,"
because you were fussing about the child support and $900. Can you explain why she would go on the news and portray it that way, or why she would say that you were never around?
I don't deal with my sister, first off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk to her if
who's telling
she don't talk to me.
Who's lying?
I raised all my little sisters and brothers. I was the protector. I was the provider for them when we were in foster care. And I put myself in harm's way to make sure that they didn't have to go through the things that I went through. I don't talk to our family is not tight knit. So I don't really speak to her that often. But that is not the same energy that she had when she called me and told me that my baby was missing. Because she's the one that let me know.
Okay.
I had no idea. I don't do social media.
Understandable. Now, there's another misconception or some that's getting people a little bit confused as well, is that people were going around, and I'm just here because I've been watching it from the very beginning. So don't think I'm just someone that just hopped of it and don't know anything.
I really like her channel. True Crime
People are
with
saying that is Kimani, is this her biological? Okay, and would you know why people are saying it's someone else? They were saying that the grandmother said it's not, or
She just said yes, Darnell is a biological father.
something like that.
So they said that my mom said that. Where she got that from, I'm not sure.
What? She's not upset either. That's kind of weird too, right? And yeah, I know. Get right on social media, Holly.
But shit. People are also saying that my mom and my daughter's dad have been sleeping together this whole time too. So I don't know.
Wait, Grandma Dorothy was sleeping with Darnell? That's alleged? If Darnell was graping Kimani, Grandma probably wasn't so happy about that.
That they were dealing with each other on a personal note.
Wow.
That's crazy. And I'm so sorry.
Allegedly.
Like, the only time I really talk to my mother or my child's father is if it's concerning my child. If you tell me my kid needs something, I got it. If you tell me my kid wants to do something, I got it. If my kid is short on something, or shit, if the house is short on something where my baby is residing, I'm going to make sure I take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
There has been times my mother has called me legitimately 3 days in a row. The last time she did this, I was homeless.
Mute yourself, Nutbuster. Mute yourself.
She called me the first day.
Okay. Go ahead.
There was the last time she called me and was asking for money back to back was when I was homeless. I was literally living in my car, had nowhere to go. And she called me one day and was like, "Hey, I need like $600. We ain't got no food in this house." I said, "Okay." She called me the next day. "Hey, I need $300. We need to wash clothes." Okay. She called me the next day. "Hey, I need $100. I'm trying to do something for Kimani's birthday." Okay. She called me the day after. "Hey, can you send me $60? I'm $60 short for her cake." No, I can't, because now I'm flat broke.
Wow. So it was just always.
If you call me and tell me my kid needs something, call me and tell me it's always been about money.
Wow.
But regardless of that, like I said, my only concern has been, I don't care about the money. Money comes and goes.
Yeah. So they were saying, so that this house that your mother lived in, I've heard that your mother was on drugs. I've heard that it was pedophiles and pimps and crackheads living in there. Was she treating this house like a boarding house for the community? What do you know about that, of the people that were coming in and out this household?
What?
I didn't know about the
Grandma had people coming in and out of her house. That's one of the rumors.
crackheads and all of that mess until after I
What?
got here.
I'm shook.
I only found out about Wayne, my little brother's dad, staying at my mother's house when he got out, because my dad called me and told me. And I asked her why he was there, and I told her that I was uncomfortable with him being there because he just did 22, 23 years and ain't seen a woman. I don't want him nowhere near my kid.
So people were around Kaimani that could have been dangerous and could have been hurting her. Did she pimp out her granddaughter? Good question, SW. She should have never been there. Yeah, grandma's a dirty one. Well, we're just reporting the facts and giving our opinions. We are allowed that.
And he's a registered sex offender, correct?
Right, I'm gay.
At that house,
There was a lot of
what
essay,
I
I
knew
think.
was family.
No, I'm saying, but Wayne, he was a registered sex offender. That's what he was in the penitentiary for, right?
And I'm curious if we'll see the autopsy to know if she was essayed. Well, they know she was essayed, but I don't know if they can tell like the details of that. But I'm curious if maybe Kaimani's phone. I'm sure there's a lot of things we don't know.
Right.
Maybe had some evidence of something.
Wayne was in the penitentiary because he killed somebody over 50 cents in a slice of pizza. So mental health, top tier, you know?
Wow.
So Kaimani had mental health
So
issues. That's what she's saying.
now that all of this is out and things of that nature, right? I know that the day before she went missing, she was at your house because you had the birthday party for your other daughter. And you said that you gave her some money and then you also gave the father some money. Now, here's what kind of had me confused is because they were saying that you really didn't get a chance to see your baby for a lot of years. Is that correct?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's incorrect. My daughter was at my house on the 15th, Saturday the 15th. Her and her sister had already spent the week up here together because I have a 4-year-old. She was up here with Kima for a whole week before that. My daughter's dad.
I feel like she's defensive, and yes, she is on social media right now.
Got permission from my mother
Right.
to bring Kimani to me on Saturday the 15th. That had nothing to do with no birthdays. I don't know where people keep getting that from, but that's not what I said. She came up to see me because, again, I'm paying child support. I still have my parental rights. So that was my visit. But she sat with me hours. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess my mother wanted her home before the night was over for whatever reason. But they stayed for 2 hours. We played the video game. We joked, we played. We had a good time. We had a good time.
Okay, Spicy, I did say that. I'm sorry to interrupt. I did say that because I knew Zaza's birthday was on the 17th. And I was just like asking you because you were getting stuff together for her birthday on the weekend. So yeah, I did say that.
Okay, it was the weekend. Okay. And so he came and took her there and then took her back home. Now, do you guys even, let me ask you this, maybe you would know. Do you guys even know if she even ever made it back home?
I don't know. From what I was told, she was home because she went to school on Monday. The kids at her school vouched, yes, she was here, and she walked with us to school.
I don't think the mom sounds like she had a very good relationship with Kaimani, right? Obviously, Kaimani wasn't in her custody, and she was only there for 2 hours to hang out with her. I think Kaimani lacked so much in her life. emotionally and psychologically because of her family.
We had lunch and she walked with us after school. She went home.
Very sad.
Okay. Wow. All righty.
There's that she walks to school with. If she doesn't get on the bus, a group of kids that she walks home with if she doesn't get on the bus.
Okay. Now, can you give
But
us
she
some clarity
wasn't.
on this timeline? When was she officially reported missing? I think that's also some inconsistencies in that for people too.
I don't know when she was officially reported missing. So from what I understand, from what was told to me, she went missing Tuesday. My mother claims that she noticed that she figured out that my daughter was missing when she got home, which was supposed to have been 10 o'clock. But apparently she still had not reported it at that time. She called my cousin Kat, which is Big Cat on Facebook. I'm sure you guys have seen her posts. But she called my cousin Kat and was asking about my little cousins, because I guess they go to school with my daughter as well, asking if they went to school, trying to figure out if my daughter was here or somewhere else. She called the school.
Myla says, I believe that most of the people in Kimani's life was living the fast life. Right. Get out of here. She knows who she walks home from school, but she doesn't know when she was officially reported missing. I call bull. Right, Laura.
Said that my daughter had not checked in for the day. I don't know that any part of that is true. But I did not find out until almost 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Like I said, my sister, the same one that's on the news talking crazy now, is the one that even let me know that my daughter was missing. My mother did not call me about anything, even remotely related to my kid, until Thursday. The Thursday after she went missing at 3:49 p.m.
Wow. So this is kind of thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it. So now that we are in, your sister had went into the news, and she also had mentioned so when she was on the news and she basically is saying that you never around, there's also some allegations that your sister was one that was a part of the things that was going on in the house. Have you heard anything about your sister?
That was the sister we saw crying at the beginning. Remember? Allegedly.
Leaving your daughter out while they leave the house for hours throughout the day and she had nowhere to go. Have you heard those allegations yet?
I'm shook. Whether it's true or not.
I have been told that apparently my sister's son, my nephew RJ, was apparently touching my baby as well. And my cousins told me.
Wait, so there was definitely other people touching Kimani. Did you just hear that? She just said.
Told that apparently my sister's son, my nephew RJ, was apparently touching my baby as
The sister's son was apparently touching Kimani
as well. And my cousins told me that as well. No, my mother has not talked to me about this. My sister has not brought this to my attention. The people that are responsible for taking care of her are the people that should be telling me what's going on. When something's wrong, regardless of how big or how little it is, you should be letting me know. That is still my child. I still care for her. I still love her. Still go above and beyond for her.
And how old was this son?
But it's the
hers?
fact.
How old is her son?
I spoke to them every time I spoke to my child. Every time I spoke.
Is she avoiding the question or is she not hearing? She asked how old is that son who was touching allegedly Kimani?
To my child, every time I spoke to my mother, every time I spoke to my child.
That's where the interview ended. I don't know why it was cut short, but Pantera makes a good point. I hate when people who can give to talk about their kids and suddenly act like they care about the kids and come on camera and on social media. Here she is on social media, right? After she was talking all that crap. Anyways, so I did link the interviewer, True Crime with Royale, Savage Royale. That's who interviewed the mom a few days ago. So there's a Kimani case. Horrifying, right? Lots of information, but Kimani deserves justice. Absolutely, she does. R.I.P. Kimani. We're going to see where this case goes. Still an open investigation. Darnell did allegedly confess. I don't know if he's going to try to plead insanity, plead guilty. If he does that, we will have no trial, which I don't know. Might be worth the trial so they can dig up a bunch of stuff, right, on the family. Total BS. R.I.P. Kimani. Now you guys are all informed about the case. I found everything I could for now. I'm waiting to get docs, so documents. Hopefully I can get them soon. I appreciate you guys for being here. We have another True Crime Live in Amelia After Dark today, so I will see you guys on the next one. Shout out to my mods. My family is royally messed up. I agree. I agree, Estubs. R.I.P. sweet family. Yes. Now you guys are all caught up on the Kimani case. I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you hit the like button. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you.